expertise, we've got a ton. You're not too late, you've just begun. Let's break the mold, rewrite the map. You've got the spark, now strike the match. From ideas to income, let's make it real. With strategy, tools, and guts of steel. We don't just automate, we innovate. This is your chance to elevate. Hey, let's build a dream and own the fight. I-Power, future's bright. Here comes the mind behind the plan. Greg Jameson, the AI man. In 500 best-selling books, built 100 websites. Take a look. Colorado's Small Biz of the Year, an internet pioneer. Since '85, he's paved the way. Now he's here to show the play. Don't fear the code, don't fear the bots. They're just the tools to connect the dots. It's not about doing less, it's about doing what you do best. From ideas to income, let's make it real. With strategy, tools, and guts of steel. We don't just automate, we innovate. This is your moment, activate. Hey, let's build a dream and own the fight. I-Power, future's bright. Don't fear the code, don't fear the bots. They're just the tools to connect the dots. It's not about doing less, it's about doing what you do best.
Well, welcome everybody that is already on the webinar. We've got more people showing up as we proceed, but don't want to waste anybody's time today. The ones of you that have showed up on time, that is fantastic. You've already met my friend here on the screen, Oliver Algorithm. Oliver may be joining us for a couple of other things as we go through the presentation today. But just a couple of housekeeping things. I am recording this, and I am going to stop my share for just a moment and make sure that my video is on. There we go. So I am recording this for people that have registered that are unable to make it to the live presentation today. This, in fact, really is live. It is about 5 minutes after 2 on Thursday, the 15th. So you know what? It's live. And people that are on here live, if you want to go back and watch the recording afterwards, you can do that as well. So I am going to go ahead and dive right in. Let me do a quick screen share again. All right. So my name is Greg Jameson. Some of you that are on here, we have met, and it's great to see you here. Other people, this is the first time meeting you, so I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth, but essentially, I've been in the software business, the high-tech business, even the AI business for a long time. Basically, what happened is back when the technical dinosaurs were still roaming the earth, my father was a research professor at Colorado State University, and he brought home a portable teletype machine. So I got to start doing home computing about a decade before the rest of the world had access to this. We had an account with the county mainframe computer, which was a DEC PDP-10, actually the exact same computer that Bill Gates learned to program on. And the result was I now have a propeller permanently attached to my head. Some people say that this makes me a dinosaur. Other people say it makes me an OG. Either way, I'm have had a career in the technical field for a long time. You can see some of my accolades up on the screen. The thing that's interesting about this is that I actually wrote my first commercial software program, as you can see on this graph, back in 1974. And this was about the time that expert systems, a form of artificial intelligence, was really just beginning to rise. AI started back in the 1950s, but back in the mid 1970s, the expert systems were just starting to rise. And I wrote my first expert system, an AI application using the Lisp programming language in 1985, which you can see on the graph under about 1985. But this long history of AI was just kind of slowly developing over a period of years until actually about 2017, OpenAI was formed. They are the people that created ChatGPT. And back then, 2017, 2018, they released what is called an application programming interface, or API. And several companies were basically licensing that API from OpenAI. Well, in November of 2022, OpenAI unleashed ChatGPT upon the world. And that's really where this hockey stick growth started to take off, where you see the star on the screen. And since then, things have been growing exponentially, and there is no signs of it slowing down anytime soon. Hey, Oliver's back. Hey, Oliver, I've got a new guest on our presentation today. Uh,
It has to be better than that silly robot, Antoinette Machina that you used last time.
yes, it's better than Antoinette, who we can see on the screen here. I finally did it. I cloned myself.
It has to be better than.
Took you long enough. I was starting to think you were going to hand me a mop and make me clean up your to-do list.
Hey, I like working hard.
Yeah, and you probably like biking uphill in a snowstorm, too. Meanwhile, small business owners are burning out trying to do everything: videos, blogs, social posts, and wondering why nobody's buying.
Well, it's because they think that staying busy means that they're making progress.
Exactly. They're chasing likes instead of conversions and automating their bad habits like it's an Olympic sport.
And now they're throwing AI into the mix, hoping that it'll magically fix everything.
Oh, sure, let's use AI to write more stuff that people scroll past. Brilliant. Nothing like scaling inefficiency at lightning speed.
Yeah, AI is not just about speed and efficiency, it's about potential. You can use it to create new products, new revenue streams, even new business models.
Yeah, but only if you stop using it like a content creation machine and start using it like your creative partner.
And that's the shift we've got to make because the game has changed. AI isn't just evolving. As I said, it's exploding. And we've got to start using it like a true thought partner that can help us scale our businesses. In order to do this, we need to realize an important truth, and that is the robots are not here to get you. So here's the thing. I personally don't buy into the fear mongering that you see in the media and from politicians who say that AI is going to take over and that we're all going to be out of a job. That's a scarcity mindset, and I don't like playing that game. Ultimately, rather than having a scarcity mindset that sees AI as a threat to job, it's much more fruitful to adopt a mindset of abundance. And by the end of today's presentation, My goal is to make your head spin with possibilities. So, welcome to the age of abundance. And the question today is, are you ready for the post-labor economy? Now, the truth is that by the end of this year, we will have lost 85 million jobs to AI. But we will also have started to gain 97 million new jobs. The thing is that these new jobs that are being created, even though there's a net gain in employment, they aren't going to look anything like the jobs that they are replacing. It's much like what happened when automobiles replaced horse-drawn carriages, or even when computers and the internet were introduced. People lost jobs during those times, but many more new jobs were created. And we are going to see jobs created that we can't even conceive of right now. So people ask me when I tell them this, well, what are these new jobs going to be? And the reality is, I don't know. It's still evolving. Now, some of the possibilities of new jobs I've put up on the screen. But the important thing is that you need to be able to be the person that combines human skills with the ability to leverage AI. And that's really going to be the key. Now, you are welcome to take screen captures as we go through here today. You're welcome to take notes, but you don't need to. You can instead simply go to the web page that I've identified on this slide at webstoreslimited.com/make-magic-happen-links, or capture that QR code and go there, and everything that we talk about today is going to be there for your reference to download. Now, before we really get into some of the game-changing tools that I want to share with you today, I want to explain a little bit about how AI works. And if you think back when you were in high school and you were asked to write a term paper, what probably happened is you had to go out, you went to the library, you got some books, you read the books or portions of the book. You Today you'd probably go to the internet and you'd look at a dozen or so websites and you'd get information from those websites, and maybe you even conducted some personal interviews with people. Whatever the case, you pulled data from these various sources, and from that you wrote something that was unique to you to create this term paper. And that's essentially the way that AI works as well. The only difference is that instead of looking at a half a dozen books and a dozen websites, it actually looks at millions of pieces of data in order to determine what it thinks should come next in a piece of logic. So you can see on the graph on the screen here that you take an image of a house and an image of a sunset, and you now say, hey, I want to create an image of a house with that sunset to come up with something entirely new. So large language models, or LLMs, basically work like a smart guessing game. So if we had something that said, Mary had the most likely response next is going to be Little Lamb, or Once Upon a Time, as you see on the screen. So essentially, it's a guessing game. And because it's a guessing game, that's the reason why early models of these LLMs would hallucinate a lot of times or come up with answers that were unacceptable because they were basically blatantly wrong. Lawyers have gotten into trouble with this, as an example, because they were citing cases that had never even existed. The models have gotten much better in the last couple of years, and the amount of hallucination has gone down to a fraction of a percent. They can still do it, but it has gotten much better at the guessing that they are doing. Now, the really huge leaps in these LLMs and OpenAI's ChatGPT model in particular is because they basically sucked down the entire internet, uh, which means that's where they have these millions of pieces of data to draw on. Uh, Now, besides the internet, they also sucked in a bunch of books and uh, photographs of artwork and all kinds of other stuff. And it included entire archives from major publishers without them giving permission or getting permission to do it. And unless and until that's prohibited by the courts, they will just keep right on doing so, which means that these AI models are getting smarter and smarter all the time. It also means that there's going to continue to be litigation over this. Hey, did they use copyrighted materials without my permission? And the result is that the lawyers are going to be the ones that win big in this battle. But the fact is that if you have all these millions of pieces of data and you're concerned that somebody's going to be taking a piece of, you put up an ebook and you're concerned that these large language models are going to use your intellectual property in your ebook and plagiarize it, it is extremely unlikely that that would be the case. It will just be one more piece of data amongst millions of other pieces of data, and them plagiarizing you is, like I said, extremely unlikely. Now, here is a list of some of the popular AI chatbots that are out there. Of course, we have ChatGPT. Since ChatGPT was released, a whole bunch of other people have come on board, including Google. They used to have their product. They went through several different names. It's currently named Google Gemini. We've got Anthropic Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity, DeepSeek, which is the Chinese model that came out earlier this year that kind of freaked out the whole AI community because they were able to build this thing cheaper than all of the millions and millions that other people have invested into their large language models. You've got XAI's Grok, that's Elon Musk's contribution to this, and most recently, Meta.ai. Now, Meta.ai is, this is the interface to it, and you can see it looks much like ChatGPT, if you're familiar with ChatGPT. The panel down the side, even the ability to expand or contract the panel, ask Meta AI anything. And it has a talk button. Now, the reality is that ChatGPT has a talk button too. The real difference here between Meta AI and the other ones that you see is that you can see some images down below. It is basically still a social media platform. So anything that you have ever posted on any of Meta's platforms like Instagram or Facebook, it knows that about you, and that is one of the training models that it has used. Um, XAI's Grok does the same thing with Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and they've have that access to that real-time stream of tweets coming off of X.com. So these AI models, they are not stagnant. It used to be that we would say, hey, well, it has a cutoff date of, whatever it would be, August of 2022, and therefore stuff is out of date. Anthropic Claude does not have access to real-time internet answers, but ChatGPT does. And so these models are continuing to get smarter and smarter because the internet is continuing to get smarter and smarter. So on the right now, you can see the cell phone version of Meta AI and what that looks like. So like I said, Meta isn't the only voice AI out there, ChatGPT. The far left of your screen here is the ChatGPT interface when you are using the voice mode. The one in the middle is called Pi. It's been around for a while. And these will respond to you in a voice as well as you talking to them. So you have the opportunity to actually talk to the AI and it will respond. They also will keep a written record of that so you can go back and later get that information. In fact, one of the books that I recently wrote, I had this brainstorm as I was driving and I pulled up the voice version of ChatGPT as I was driving and just had this conversation. And then I was able to later take that information that's already transcribed and use it as the starting point for a new book. So it's actually very useful to be able to talk to these. Now, the question may arise, like I said, it's pulling all this data from different sources. And you might say, well, is it really ethical for me to be using this if these large language models pulled data from sources that never gave their permission for that to be used for training purposes with AI? Like I said, the courts are going to be the ones that ultimately decide that. You need to determine what is ethical to you or not in terms of your use of AI. But let's just take a look at this video that I've got here as to whether or not you think this is an ethical use of AI.
A deepfake video is turning some of our major politicians into criminals. Take a look at this. Both former President Trump and Vice President Harris appearing to commit armed robbery, holding up convenience stores in fake footage. It does not stop there. President Biden, former President Obama, even the Pope portrayed in this AI video. You can see Elon Musk there as well.
Okay, so obviously that's not very ethical, but it's clearly something that can be done today. And so we need to be aware of that as we are utilizing these tools.
A deep
So some other ways that AI is currently being used unethically, you can see on the screen, data privacy, surveillance and employee monitoring, biases in decision making, manipulative personalized advertising, price fixing, price discrimination, fake reviews and comments. All of these things are things that we need to be aware of. So, like I said, ultimately it comes down to you as to what you think is ethical to use or not. Because of the millions of pieces of data that are already publicly accessible on the internet, and that's how these large language models work. In general, my stance on it is that as long as you are not doing things like what I was showing before, and you are giving credit where credit is due, it is a real time saver rather than being something that is unethical. Now, what I want to talk about today really is what I call the ACT principle. And this it's an acronym that consists of three parts. The A is attract, the C is create, and the T is to take action. So we're going to start out with attracting. And the first thing I want to talk about is your own website. Now, this is a typical home page, and I actually did this in a live presentation to a group of realtors the other day and brought up a real estate site. This is not a real estate site. This is a property development site, but you can see that they start out right here. Our process guides. We're relationship experts. Our product is, our integrated team holds this. We bring together this. We believe this. Our developments are yada yada. We, R, my, me. When somebody comes to your website, nobody really cares about you. They only care about what you can do for them. Now, this may be good information about what you can do, and our team does this and so forth. That belongs on the About Us page. It does not belong on your home page. Your home page should be something that answers the customer's question about what can you do for me. So I have an exercise for you, and that is to look at your own website, copy the content on your own website, the homepage of it, go to this free tool that you can see up here at gregjameson.com/free trial and paste it into the customer centric copy tool there and let it rewrite your homepage for you and see if that makes more sense to you in terms of making it all be about your customer rather than about you. Now, the other thing about attracting people is to use a some type of a tool such as this if so dynamic content. And you can see that there's a whole bunch of different conditions that you can apply to this. So when somebody arrives at your website, you can see where they're located. Obviously, you know what time they arrived at your website. You can tell where they came from. Hey, did they come off of a link off of Facebook? Did they do a Google search? Did they get sent to me from an email? Where'd they come from? Have they been to my website before? What pages have they visited? And so on. One of the things that you can do is determine what language they want to speak. And depending upon the language that they speak, you may actually want to display different content. Now, here's an example of a video that you could display on your website where somebody is speaking, in this case, me, speaking Spanish.
¿Tú tienes un problema de tráfico o de conversión? Vamos a hablar en la semana 1 del desafío de ventas en línea de tuxmisales.com.
Ok, yo hablo un poquito de español, pero este es más mejor, ¿no? The thing is I certainly don't speak German.
Du? Haben Sie ein Verkehrsproblem oder ein Konversionsproblem? Das ist es, worüber wir in der ersten Woche der Online-Verkaufsherausforderung von Tuxmis. Du?
And I most definitely do not speak Japanese.
交通の問題ですか？コンバージョンの問題ですか？ティオキクスミサルス。コムのオンラインセルスチャレンジの1週目で話すことです。
Now, the thing that's really cool about this is that you'll notice that not only is it using my voice to speak these other languages, but it's actually moving my mouth so that it is as if I was talking to somebody. So if I'm doing business with someone in Japan, I could send this type of a video via an email, or like I said, if they're visiting my website from Japan, I could put that if statement in there so that, hey, they're coming from Japan, let's show them my introduction video in Japanese. Now, another thing that you can do with attracting people once they're on your website is to use an AI chatbot. And you can see on the screen here that I've got a chatbot called Shoppy. Name it whatever you want, but there's really a couple different kinds of chatbots. We've talked about AI chatbots like a chat GPT. You could obviously just put that access to that on your website. There are other chatbots that have been around for a while. In fact, these kind of fell into some of the early AI applications too, and I was programming some of these in the early 2000s where you would give it very specific built-in information, like someone would come to your website and you might even have some predetermined questions that people would ask, and therefore you would also have predetermined answers. So depending upon the questions, it would go off and it would find that answer and display it for you. With AI today, what you can do is you can make the chatbots be programmed to use your website and any other pieces of data as reference material so that when customers ask questions on your website, they are given a very specific response that is not pre-built. So let me actually bring up my website and let's just go to my web store's website. And you can see that I've got the chat bot in the lower right corner. And we can clear this so that we can start a new one. Shopee is here. And we can ask it any question we want, like, how can Greg Jameson help realtors use AI? Just putting that in because I used realtors the other day. And what it does is, like I said, it pulls this information from the internet, from all of the training that ChatGPT has, as well as information on my own website and any other documents that I may have fed into training this AI bot. So that is something that can be a very powerful thing in terms of both sales and customer service or support. Okay. Question frequently comes up. If you're using AI, does Google penalize AI content? And my answer always is, well, if they do, they sure have a funny way of showing it. You can see the quote up here by Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, on the release of Google Gemini. The fact is that they have publicly stated that we don't care if you use AI, that what we care about is the content something that humans want to consume? So as long as you are making it be valuable information for human beings, then Google will continue to rank your pages and show them on the Google search engine. But here's the thing about search engines is that a lot of people aren't even using them anymore. Many people are now using AI to do their searches instead of Google. You can see the quote up here from Bill Gates. That's actually from a couple of years ago because it's already happening. Now, like I said, we were talking there about Google and does it penalize you with your search engine optimization? practices? And the answer is no, but the real question now is your site optimized for AI results? If somebody goes to ChatGPT or to Perplexity and they put in a question like, where's the best ice cream shop near me that serves licorice flavored ice cream? The reality is Google may not know if somebody serves licorice flavored ice cream. The AI might. And that's the reason why people are using AI to do those kinds of searches. And if that's you, you want to be the business that comes up when the AI bots are making a recommendation and giving you an answer. So that's called AI optimization, and it's something that all businesses really need to be cognizant of today. Now, the second part of the ACT formula is to create. And besides marketing copy like blogs and emails and so forth, there are 3 additional types of offerings that you can create with AI. You can create physical products, digital products, and services. To help you do this, I have created what I call an AI toolbox, and you can get to it at gregjameson.com/AI tools. You can see on the screen capture up here that there are a number of these that you can get to for free. I've actually got over 50 different tools on here. I think the number is quite a few more than that now because people keep giving me new ideas of tools to create. But like I said, you can access some of these for free and see if they're going to work for you. Let me show you just a couple of these. One is if I go to business growth, I've got a tool here called Mastermind with Legends. And I'm actually, since I have to log into this anyway, I'm going to do this in Google Chrome because it gives me some opportunities with Chrome that work better. So let's log into this and go back to the mastermind. And this tool, you can see there are lots of different people that I can pick when I'm doing this. So if I wanted to mastermind with Amy Porterfield and Ariana Huffington, I can do that. I can pick from this whole list of people, or I can choose just a particular type of person that I want to work with. You know, speakers, I want to mastermind with Brene Brown and Les Brown as an example. Let's go to business, and I'm gonna hit reset here just to make sure. I'm gonna do a mastermind with Donald Trump and Gary Vaynerchuk. And I'm gonna hit start. And I can, at this point, talk my message to them. Do you think I should go get a job? Actually didn't let me finish here. But that's all right. Let's refresh the page, start over. Should I go get a job or should I work on my own business? Now, here's the really fun thing about this. They think and they come up with their answers, which you can obviously see right here. But it will also, and it takes just a minute to do this sometimes, depending upon the internet load. it will actually talk to you. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for just a minute because of the internet load. It may be doing that and tell you a little bit about this. So I'm not using, in this case, Gary Vaynerchuk's voice. Uh, I don't want to get sued like OpenAI did when they used Scarlett Johansson's voice. But you can set this up to use whatever voice you want, including your own voice, if you wanted to have your own clone in there. And you can do that when we hit manage personas. It gives you the ability to specify a cloned voice that you want to use. You will notice, if you can read this, that it responds in basically the mannerism that a particular individual would respond to. So in Gary V's case, you're looking at an effing crossroads up here. And Donald Trump is saying that something's going to be really huge, so think big and so forth. So you've got, you can kind of have some fun with that. There are, go back to this. There are, like I said, over 50 tools in here doing different things. There's also some add-ons for different niches, like an e-commerce add-on, a real estate add-on, and so forth. There are some that are pretty simple, like revenue generation ideas. We can go in and say something like, I'm a real estate agent. Tools, I'm new to AI and not using anything yet. And it's going to come up and give you a list of ideas that you could use for generating additional revenue streams. With all of these tools that are built into this, there is a little chat icon in the lower left, and you can click on that and you can continue the conversation. So you might say something like, expand upon idea number 2, for example. Whatever you want to say. So those are, that's the AI tools. Now with those tools, I've actually worked with people to create these physical, digital, and service products that I was talking about. So these are some examples from some of my students in a previous class on branded physical products using a process called print on demand. And these are all real student projects. And it was kind of fun because actually the gal here in ice skates, this dress that she created, she sold one within an hour of the class where we were talking about doing this, and she called me up all excited. Yeah, I already sold one. So it does work. The big thing that you want to do when you're creating these physical products is you want to sell items that have a higher price tag and bigger margins. This is a pair of shoes. I actually made them for myself using these AI techniques that I explain. And it, when I wear them, it garners enough attention that I've actually built these for other people, speakers and authors and stuff that are on stage and they want to have their own branded type of shoe. And it doesn't have to be a tennis shoe. It could be almost any kind of shoe. And they are relatively inexpensive to get manufactured, but because they are customized, I'm able to sell them for a high price. Now, another type of physical product that you can use is to create a book. Books make fantastic business cards to basically say that you are the expert on a subject. I know this, I've written 23 books myself, and I have not gotten rich selling books, but I have gotten a lot of clients because I have a book. So having a book that you can use to establish yourself as an expert is a great thing. One of the tools that I have is the ability for you to write a book based upon a certain genre. For example, let's just go ahead and show this real quick. If I go back to speakers and authors, this is going to take me to a new site that I'm working on with a different partner, which I'll talk about being able to work with me in a partnership relationship on creating your own set of tools like this. I'll do that here in a moment. But if I go to author tools and hit book genres, oops, got to log into this site too. Okay, so back at book genres, let's say I want to create a horror book, a fiction book about horror. So I can upload anything that I've already written. So if you're working on this over a period of weeks or whatever, you can save things off, re-upload them in here and kind of continue the story from there. But I'm just going to put in some background information. I'm going to say a new murder. Let's say a new double murder has occurred at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. Will the new ghost get along with the current ghosts? Whatever you're going to say to kind of get the story started. The cool thing about these tools is that we've built enough knowledge into them that you can see that it's going to come up with some title options. It's going to come up with a suggested table of contents. It's going to write an introduction. It's going to start writing chapter 1. It's got the little icon down on the lower left, just like the other stuff where it says here, would you like me to continue with chapter 2? We can just click on that and say, write chapter 2. Or whatever you want to say. You can go back and you could look at some of the previous stuff and say, hey, I want to change the person's name, or, I want to add this into chapter 1 or whatever. I actually did recently write a book utilizing these tools myself that is a fiction book. I'm going to just show it briefly. It's called Chrono Code, When AI Rewrote the Future. This is all about how time can be thought of as data. And since it's data, the AI was able to restructure time to its liking. So kind of a fun little tool there that you can use. Okay, let's get back to the presentation. All right. Besides writing books like that, you can create all different kinds of other books, coloring books. I actually created a combination of a coloring book slash storybook for my granddaughter for Christmas, utilizing images of her to create the coloring book characters. And I created some stickers using AI. So she could put stickers in it, she could color it, she could read the book. It was her favorite Christmas present. And I had a lot of fun making it. Comic books are actually a really great way to portray information, not just for things as it relates to, being cartoons, but as a way of telling stories. And you can create these using AI as well. Recipe books, uh, the recipes obviously for food are great, but you could create a recipe book about how to make just about anything. 3D printed products. You can see on this screen, I've got Oliver algorithm back up here. And on the left is the computer or the AI generated image of Oliver to begin with. In the middle is a 3D model of Oliver based upon nothing more than the 2D image to begin with. And the one on the right is a 3D STL file that you can now download and actually create a product from that utilizing a 3D printer. This is an example of a wrench that I created utilizing this technique. And I think I've got I know I have the wrench here. I was trying to see how accessible it was, but I'm going to show you how you can actually do this utilizing a tool called Tripo 3D. And I'm going to stop my screen share for just one more second here. This is the book that I was telling you that I created for my granddaughter for Christmas. And you can see the story and the coloring that you can do there. This is the 3D wrench. And now let's take a look at how we can actually make those things. It's going to take me just 1 second here to reshare my screen. Okay, so this is the Tripo 3D site, and you can see that you can use multiple images or a single image. Let's just pick a single image and we will go find we'll just use this wizard. So this is a two-dimensional JPEG image that was actually created in AI. And then once we have it in there, we just hit generate. And it wants me to log in, of course. So I'm going to have to, we'll grab the login code. Give me just a second to do that. Okay. Looks like it's got to go back and redo this after I logged in. So it takes a minute here for this to generate. So we can start to see what this looks like at this point. Kind of looks like a ceramic model as it's working on this and doing its texturing. When I was showing this at a recent live presentation, people were like, well, yeah, but then you have to have a 3D printer. And yes, it's helpful if you have your own 3D printer. You can get 3D printers now for a relatively inexpensive amount, but many libraries also have 3D printers now, and there's other services where you can send the STL files to them. So I'll just zoom up a little bit. So this is, it looks essentially like the image that I uploaded there, but this is now a full 3D image just from a flat two-dimensional image to start with. And in the lower right, you can see I can go to download and download that file. And there are different formats that you can download it in. The default is a GLB file. You can also do an STL file. You ought to be able to use either one of those with a 3D printer. All right, back to the presentation. Let's go on to digital products. And I will try to work quickly here so that we don't go too long beyond our time frame. I've allocated, hopefully the people on here have allocated this too. I've allocated a full 90 minutes to this presentation. I want to do it in about an hour and 15 so that we have time for questions and answers afterwards. But digital products. One of the things that you can do is create presentations and webinars. The presentation that you're seeing today was not created with AI. This is a slide deck that I created all on my own, but utilizing these two particular applications, I'm sure there's other ones out there that now do a good job as well, but Beautiful.ai and Gamma.app allow you to create slide deck presentations that you can use for doing your presentations and webinars. You can create all kinds of software utilizing AI. These are some plugins that I have created for WordPress websites, and I'm now selling them on my website. Turns out that AI is a fantastic employee when it comes to writing software code. In the early days, I actually at one point employed like 30 different people, and it took us literally months to create a new piece of software. As time went on, we started using overseas developers, and that basically cut our time in half because we were able to send the code off to people in India, for example. They would work on it while we were sleeping. They'd send the code back to us. We had a new fresh build in the morning, we'd work on it during the day when they were sleeping and send it back and forth, and that cut our time in half. Now with AI, what used to take months to write a piece of software literally can be done in a matter of days, weeks at the most. Um, there is a lot of iterative prompting as you go through and you build things where you, just like anything that you build with AI, where you're saying, hey, if you take a look at line 145, we're doing this. Could we do this instead? And it'll come back and create a new set of code for you. And you need to understand enough about it that you can copy and paste things into the right place. But the time savings is absolutely tremendous. Besides writing software that way, you can create what are called custom GPTs. And these are a couple of the ones that I recently wrote for the realtors, where you can summarize legal documents. So say you have a buy-sell offer on your house and you've got this 20-page legal document. You upload it into the thing and it will summarize it for you in plain English and tell you exactly what to expect, how much money you have to pay on what dates, and so forth. Fantastic little tool. The other one is one here for virtual staging. And I'm just going to click on this one. This takes me to ChatGPT. And I am going to upload an image. And the image I am going to upload is going to be a room. And we'll just pick a room. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to say, add furniture to this room to stage it in preparation for selling. Now you can do this for the inside or the outside of the house. You can add landscaping to a house, perhaps a brand new house that is doesn't have any landscaping added to it yet, or maybe a house that has overgrown landscaping. You want it to remove the existing landscaping and show it with fresh landscaping. You could do the same thing with these, virtual staging of the inside, because maybe the person that is selling the house has too much furniture and it's really cluttered, and you want to say, hey, take all that furniture out of the room and put new furniture in there instead. So that makes it something that is a really cool thing for doing this type of thing. This is done with, like I said, what's called a custom GPT. So it's not utilizing straight chat GPT. And in a course that I offer, some of the people on here today have actually been through this course in the past. So you may want to get a refresher on it. I don't know. But one of the things we're going to be talking about in the next version of the course is how to write your own custom GPTs and some of the techniques for really making those effective. But there's the room now with the furniture that has been added to the blank room. And you can see that the room itself looks exactly the same. Music is a fantastic way of utilizing AI actually to do all kinds of fun things. You'll notice at the very beginning of the presentation, for those that were here at the very beginning, I had a song playing that was created with AI. These are some of the best sites for creating AI generated music. Suno.ai, Udio, Murica, and Refusion. I'm going to play just a portion of this video, which has music that was created by Suno AI. This is a ski trip that my sons and I went on last year to Aspen.
In the heart of the Rockies, where the wild winds blow, there's a town called Aspen where the thrill seekers go. There's a group of skiers known far and wide. The Jamesons from Freightown, they're a force to ride. Tread slow, fly through the air. Rhythm levels on skis, we don't care.
You don't have to watch the whole thing, but you get the idea. Online courses and instruction videos are a fantastic use of AI right now. You can see the ones that I've put up on the screen: AI Studio, Synthesia, Video Gen, and DID. These all allow you to make instructional videos so you can create an entire online course. The person that you see on the video up here is not a real person. That is an AI avatar. So you can get AI avatars to actually narrate your videos for you if you don't want to appear in your own videos. And speaking of AI avatars, you can clone yourself. Now, you saw at the beginning of this how I had cloned myself and I was talking back and forth with my clone. HeyGen, the same people that put out the ability to do the translations, are people that people that have created these AI clones here. And I'm going to show you just an example of this. This was a Zoom meeting where this AI clone and I were in this same Zoom meeting.
This is Eleonora, your AI avatar. Welcome to the age of abundance with artificial intelligence.
Hey, Eleonora, I am glad that you are here with us today. I am excited that you're here. I think that there's a lot of things that you and I have in common and some great things that we can talk about to share with our audience today.
Hi there. I'm really glad to be here too. I love the idea of sharing our thoughts and insights. What specific topics are you excited to dive into?
Okay, not going to show you the whole thing, but you get the idea. You're interacting with this AI clone, and you can clone yourself and send yourself off to a Zoom meeting instead of you actually showing up for this. The great thing is, let's say that you have a client meeting and you can't make it. You can create this clone of yourself and you can train it based upon all the information, all of the correspondence that you've ever had, all the documentation you've ever had about this particular client. So it knows everything that you know about this client and about that project, and you can send it off to your Zoom meeting in your place. Now, what I thought when I first saw this technology was, wouldn't it be really cool if I could have a virtual mastermind like I was showing you earlier and put Albert Einstein and Steve Jobs and so forth all in this mastermind with me, and have them interacting with me in real time. The problem is that as it stands right now, we can only have one digital clone in a Zoom meeting at a time. But just imagine here in a few months how maybe instead of going to a Zoom meeting with people, everybody in there is going to be a clone. Okay, we showed the digital mastermind already. Is this example of that. I am going to start. Okay, AI agents is something that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on right now, but an AI agent is basically something that you can create that is going to do a number of tasks in your place. So the example that is frequently given is, hey, I want to take a trip to Paris, and you send your AI agent out there. It finds all the best airfares, it finds all the best hotel rooms, and it actually goes out and it books the airfare for you on your behalf, books the hotel room for you on your behalf, and when it's all done, it just says, hey, here's when you're going. Obviously, it needs to have access to your credit card information if it's going to do that, and it needs to have full access to basically acting on your behalf for anything that you might normally do on your computer. This has been called the year of the AI agent, and a lot of people are trying to create these things. They're still kind of in their infancy, even though we're almost halfway through the year, but it is a technology that I think is going to be something that we all need to be cognizant of here within the next 12 months for sure. So services, basically any of the physical or digital products that you can create for yourself, you can create those as a service for somebody else. For example, I told you about how I've created shoes for other people, created software for other people. You can create marketing materials for others, such as blog posts. I have clients where I am writing their blog posts with the help of AI and publishing them on behalf of the company every week. You can also build custom AI platforms, much like all the tools that I've shown you here today, whether they be something for a realtor group, something for speakers and authors, something for people that have an e-commerce platform, whatever the case might be. And you might be saying, well, yeah, I don't really know enough. I'm not techie enough to do that. Well, it's not a problem. You can basically work with me as your partner, and we can create that. That's how the speaker and author tools were created. And so we could do something like that, or we could have a JV partnership that creates tools specific for you and your company or the niche that you want to address. Okay, we showed some of the speaker tools already. So the final part of the ACT formula is T for taking action. And at this point, you've already got access to the free tools. I gave you the link, gregjameson.com/free-trial. You can also join, you can join all of the AI Blueprint Think Tank and get access to all of the tools, not just the free trial. If you act now, you can get in on a class that I am having. It starts on Tuesday the 20th. And this is a 4-week long class. You can see that on week 1, we're going to work on the attraction aspect of the ACT principle. Week 2 and 3, we're going to work on the creation part. We're going to spend 1 week on physical products and then another week on digital products and services, and week 4 on taking action and activating your revenue streams. When you sign up for this class, you get all of the tools in the AI Architect Inner Circle. This is a $197 monthly value. And you don't just get that for the 1 month that you are in the class. You're going to get access to those tools for an entire year. So that right there is way over the cost of what this course is going to cost. You get one-on-one time with me to work on your business, not just the general class time. You actually get 2 free development sites, a WooCommerce site and a Shopify site, so that as we're going through all these tools and you want to implement them and experiment with them, you can do that as a development site. And if you wish to keep that development site going forward, they are convertible into a regular website as well. And you get over 10 hours of pre-recorded lessons. Now, these are just some of the quotes that past students have given me. I don't need to read them. The idea is that you can see that everybody that's ever taken the course has been extremely pleased with the value that they've gotten out of this. So the class itself is only $497. You can register at gregjameson.com/AI class. As I said, it's going to start on Tuesday, May 20th, and it goes for 4 weeks, every Tuesday from 3:00 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Each of these classes is also going to be recorded. So if you can't attend live, or if you want it for reference, you can go back and look at it. So the link again is on the screen there, gregjameson.com/AI class. And go ahead and sign up if you are interested in doing that. If you're still not sure, you've gone through this entire presentation that we've talked about here today, and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to take the class. I don't know if I just want access to all of these really cool tools that you've built. Maybe I want to be a JV partner. I've got this my own idea of a tool set that I want to build. That's great. You can schedule a free call with me and let's discuss your business and see if it's something where we have a fit. My calendar link is up on the screen. It's just calend.ly/Greg Jameson. And let's book a discovery call and see if it makes sense. So with that, I am going to open this up to any questions, and you can either put them in the chat area of the Zoom meeting. You can put them in the Q&A section, either one of those, and I'll be trying to take a look at those. So I will hang out here for a couple of minutes as people might be thinking what their questions would be. As those are coming in, you can see some of the books in my background here that I have written. Not all of these have been written with AI. Many of them have actually been written with a partner. This one here, Thinking Machines, you can see I had a co-author with this particular book. Amazon's Dirty Little Secrets right behind me. This one is a sequel to the Amazon's Dirty Little Secrets book that I wrote. This is Amazon's Dirty Little Secrets 2, but this one is all about how to use AI like Amazon for growing your business. Innovate and Earn and Ethical AI are actually ones that I wrote. I did not have AI write those for me. And this one here, Make Magic Happen, which the course is built around a lot of this. And you can see that I had a co-author on this as well. So I'm not seeing any questions coming in the chat area. So I'm going to assume that I answered all of your questions as we went through this. Again, the course starts on Tuesday. You can sign up at gregjameson.com/AI class. If you want to talk to me individually and see where we're going with this, schedule some time on my calendar at calend.ly/Greg Jameson. I appreciate the time that you have taken with me this afternoon and look forward to having some of you be in the class. Take care.